Hello and welcome to another update video about Polkadot. Polkadot continues to be in a downtrend since the all-time, was it an all-time high? Yes, since the all-time high here back in November 21. As you know, if you've been following me for a while, I argue that all of this here was an impulsive move up back into April, May 21. Since then, we have been in a larger correction. Pretty much the Polkadot chart is very similar to the Bitcoin chart, especially in terms of how that wave B behaved. Yeah, because it was an overshooting wave B, all part of a correction within a wave 2. Yeah, how I analyze these charts is as per the Elliott wave method, which is assuming that the fundamentals, all sorts of things are already priced into the charts, and that based on these waves that you can see here, we can understand where with a certain probability the waves will go next. Yeah, and then in addition to that, I use these Fibonacci retracement levels that you can see here on the chart as well, these horizontal support lines. And what typically happens, if we assume that this here was a wave 1, which in my view it was because it was the first significant move up for Polkadot, this here is a wave 2. And typically in a wave 2, what many assets do, not only cryptocurrencies or altcoins, no, many assets, especially if they are young, they come into this region between the 88.7% Fib level and the 78.6. So between 562 and 1065. And they have to come below that low of the wave A. They haven't done it yet, or Polkadot hasn't done it yet. Yeah, Polkadot has not reached this level yet. Yeah, but nevertheless, and therefore primarily I still expect that price to go lower. That is sort of my longer term view, that we have to get into this level, which, and I always have to repeat it, which does not mean that it is not possible to do some short-term upside. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can certainly in this wave C develop some sort of a more complex correction as well. We can split this again if the market decides to do it into an A, B, C. Yeah, this is absolutely possible. These 3-3-3 moves are possible. You see them again and again. And what this would mean is that in this scenario, the wave B could certainly go close to the previous all-time high. Absolutely. So, you know, you can certainly make money even with cryptos that have not reached their target areas. And some people say when I talk about that Polkadot hasn't completed its correction yet, they assume the price will only go lower. No, it doesn't need to. It just means that any move up, I would be extremely skeptical. And it is very, very unlikely that it would make a new all-time high. Yes, it is possible. Now, of course, like everything is always possible, but we can only maneuver in the space by looking at probabilities. And if that scenario has not been completed, that we see this lower wave C, so coming basically below that wave A low here, into the region between 562 and 1065, then it hasn't been completed. And that means that we are still going to go down after all, eventually, because you have to clean up this structure before you can actually move to new all-time highs. Okay, so this is where I am here with Polkadot, and the reason I make a Polkadot video today is first of all to tell you that what is happening here on the chart is currently not very exciting and convincing. So there is no confirmed breakout signal to the upside. So primarily I still expect the price to come down lower. That nothing has changed in my view. But as I said, it is certainly possible that also you do you get basically a short-term upside here, yeah. And anybody who wants to take a short-term trade can of course make money with that. So first, few things here I want to show you, and also a pattern and a potential trade that I might do. I'm not entirely sure yet. Also depends on if I am at the PC, at the laptop, when actually this happens. So we've got here this descending channel. Obviously Polkadot broke out of this. This is a good sign, but I'm going to take this channel out now because in the end it's sort of invalidated. Yeah, it was broken and so on. What we can see here in the, if I zoom in, and this is the 8-hour chart, I probably better go to the 4-hour chart. You can identify here on this chart a descending trend line, yeah, like that. And it currently looks like as if this descending trend line has been broken and as if we are currently doing a retest. Yeah, and this is a good sign. Yeah, absolutely. That is a good sign. And the question is, how far can we actually draw that trend line? Possibly more like that. Let me just do that a little bit like that. Yeah, so I think this is more accurately. So, and let me take the fibs out because they mess things up here a little bit, less clear. So this is what I'm looking at here, a potential breakout above a descending trend line. Yeah, so there are a few things I'm looking at here. Does that mean I'm going to go long now because we broke a descending trend line to the upside? No, but there are a few things here that are interesting. So broke out potentially out of this pattern. If this is getting finding support here at $17.50, starting to move up from here, what I would want to see is at least here a breakout above this $19. Let's call it $19.50. Yeah, I think this is important. This is that previous high. So what you want to see actually as when you do that a breakout like that, you want to see, first of all, you get your first rejection, which was here at around 1850, and then you get rejected and you do the retest. If that retest is successful, I would want to see the price move beyond that initial rejection point, so above 1855. But because you have this previous high here and this previous resistance level, which was resistance before, yeah, quite close, I would also want to see this broken. Yeah, and if that $19.55 level is broken, I want to see a retest. That's what I would want to see, and then I am quite confident that then we could get to that $22.50 level. Yeah, so this is the place where I would, if we see the volume, only if we see the volume, and if this level is holding, where I would go long, short term long, and then take profits here at 22.50. Yeah, that is what I would do. That would be a very, very short-term trade. That is a possibility. That would be a nice 15% upside. And I see this could happen because what you could see here is a W pattern. Yeah, with a higher low here. And this could then play out like that. And the target of that W pattern would also roughly be that 22.50 level, because what do? You can take the height of that, basically that formation here, add it to the breakout point, depending on where you do it, but you get sort of into this region, okay? And that is what I'd be looking here for. I didn't want to, I wanted to make you aware before it happens, because I might not be able to take the trade depending on when it happens, but maybe you spot it, maybe you want to do it. That's entirely up to you. This is no financial advice. In this scenario here, because we are still in a downtrend, I'd be very careful. I would make sure I use a stop loss. Yeah, and bear in mind, I normally dollar cost average in at these prices, but this would be just a short-term trading position, and there I would use a stop loss, and I would set the stop loss personally here below this red support, below 1950. Yeah. Probably around $19, or maybe just below $9. No, that would be too far away. Yeah, possibly here around 1915 or something. Would need to look at that in a bit more detail. That's up to you, where you have your own risk profile, how much risk you want to tolerate and so on, where you set your stop loss. And yeah, that is how I'll be looking at this. And of course, it can then, if it breaks the 22.50 as well, even move higher. But for me, that would then be rather my longer term position that I would have, because Polkadot is and even at the moment, in my view, at attractive price levels, but I have to say it has not reached its target level its target area yet. Therefore, I am careful at the moment with Polkadot. Other cryptos have reached their target areas, their possible turnaround areas already. Polkadot hasn't done it yet. So I'm looking at this possible scenario here that breakout could take place. What is very important is if this 819, so if we move above this and break this resistance line, if you then break the 1950 to the downside again, then in my view that would be invalidated. Yeah, so this is certainly here a possibility I'm looking at for Polkadot. And also want to briefly talk about Kusama. Kusama has also broken out of a pattern here. We had this descending wedge. Kusama could have completed its correction. In contrast to Polkadot, it has come into this yellow target area already, which is located here between $71 and $136. Polkadot has done it. Polkadot has made a lower, sorry, Kusama has done it. Kusama has also made a lower low. I'm happy with the chart. Yeah, from my point of view, that correction could be finished. And again, no guarantee it is already finished, but it can be finished because this cryptocurrency has done the minimum what it needs to do to complete the correction. Polkadot hasn't done it yet. You can see where the target area is here, where the price is still quite far away. And Kusama could at any point in time start to move up from here at any point in time now. But even though we see here higher lows, again, it's not too convincing for me yet. This still looks like a three-wave structure here. And for me, it is not confirmed that we are having here a breakout yet. So from my point of view, primarily, I still have to expect lower prices, even though we broke here to the upside of that descending wedge. But we don't really see the volume yet that would really push the price higher from here. But the chart is looking better than the Polkadot chart. Now, that is my view here for Polkadot Kusama. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.